Wow, the Doctor's back with a masterful double episode, which saw Graham auditioning for the new season of Dancing with the Stars.
Don't make me do the old soft shoe shuffle.
Passenger learning you should never eat a piece of paper given to you by a hippie. And thanks to a fam, the Doctor's share ride rating took a dive.
Worst Uber ever.
Most of all, if Doctor Who is back, you know what that means. Welcome to Whovians! Brilliant! We're back! Hello, everyone. It's a brand new season of Doctor Who, which gave us not one, but two cracking episodes in rapid succession. And there was so much to take in. I'm very pleased we're back to unwrap it. Probably the biggest of all, guys, the Master is back. And yes, his TARDIS is a flying shed, okay? I didn't mind it. I thought it looked good. There it is. Wonderful, but couldn't help but think the whole Outback House motif thing was almost spot on, but was just missing one tiny added element.
Marge, the rains are here.
Kids, you need those kids. Hashtag corn kids, hashtag Whovians AU. And who would have guessed that Ryan secretly wanted to be an X-Man? I did not know that. Which one was it again, Ryan?
Logan.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. Logan. Which probably means a new movie's on the way. In this one, I'm sure the X-Men will be beaten by the bad guys because the new Wolverine is too busy angrily chucking bikes off cliffs. Yaz got pretty upset in this story too.
Nothingness. Nowhere. And I was totally alone. I thought I was dead.
Worst of all, that was her describing what it was like at my New Year's Eve party, so that was rough. All right, let's meet tonight's guests. Helping us ring in the new year and some new Whovians is everyone's favourite gamer, Barjo. She delivers the fun and the party pies. It's comedian Tegan Higginbotham. He makes the cookies the kids shouldn't eat, funny man Justin Hamilton. And finally, this guest knows just when to exit a party. It's Triple Threat Bridie Connell. Guys, welcome. Before we get properly into dissecting this episode, can we get a quick overview of everybody of what did we think? Barjo, what did you think of both stories? We're covering all of Spyfall tonight.
Love the first step, real love letter to James Bond, you know, full of great character-building moments and great reveals. Second ep, totally bonkers. We've got the Master shrinking people. Graham nearly killed a bunch of people with his shoes, and humans are being turned into hard drives.
I thought you'd be really into that.
But what's the point? Is the need for more storage for porn that great?
I think so. Bridie, what do you reckon?
Similarly, I loved the first episode, super pulpy and over the top and really fun. And the second episode was an episode of television that I watched.
Great. Hamo, what do you reckon?
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
OK, good.
I'm waiting until the end of the season, then I'm going to binge it. So no spoilers.
Tegan?
Look, episode 1, excellent. Episode 2, bin fire. But look, you know, it's the 13th Doctor back for the 12th season, and it looks like the budget's gone up by about $11 billion.
Yeah,
so
right.
I'm happy. I'm really excited.
They
by
certainly
it.
came back with a bang for part 1. That cliffhanger was something that was great to see. We're going to have a few two-parters this series, it seems. Let's delve deeper in a segment I've called...
The moment.
Yes. Thank you, audience, for applauding a segment purely on its potential. This is where we pick our standout moment for the story. Let's kick off with you, Barjo. What was your biggest moment for this two-parter?
Easily the superb Master reveal.
Oh, come on, Doctor, catch up. You can do it.
Oh.
That's my name, and that is why I chose it. So satisfying. Doctor, I did say look for the Spy Master. Or should I say Spy Master? Hi.
so good. It was just such a superb reveal. The way that he kind of said, "Oh, you got me," and smiled. It was really beautiful. And then, just like a true Bond villain, he has this elaborate way to kill everyone, and then just leaves and assume it all goes to plan. No need to check.
And beautifully played by Sacha Dhawan, who people may also remember was in An Adventure in Space and Time. He played Waris Hussein, the first director of Doctor Who. So great to have him back in the Doctor Who fold.
I loved the moment when they rock up at Barton's party. The whole James Bondness of it. I didn't know it was a crossover that I needed, but there's a tribute in the score that's playing. They're wearing their suits. She says, the doctor, everything about it. I loved it. It was so over the top.
And now we know her name is The.
And on that, actually, it was interesting to note that in all the promotional material, they had erased the Master O character from all of the shots of everybody coming out of the TARDIS. So it was kept a very big secret, yeah. Tegan, what did you think? What was your moment?
Loved the Master as well, especially when he said that everything you have thought up until this point, it's all a lie. I mean, that is very, very tasty. And, you know, I felt less good about the Bond outfits. Culottes on the Doctor, I'm not OK with that.
Hey, they were formal culottes.
I've got that forever now.
What was your moment?
My moment was definitely Graham in his laser shoes.
Sure.
They were fantastic. And what I loved the most about that, were you listening closely to it? Because I don't know if you could hear it properly. They made a mistake in the clip, like they'd left his microphone on so you could actually hear his voice while the lasers were shooting.
Really?
Did you not notice that? Check this out.
Sorry, gents, it's Hughes getting down on the floor. Pew, 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 pew. Pew, 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 pew.
I spend a lot of time alone.
I love everything about that. What was my moment? Thanks for asking, everyone. I would say I love a doctor moment, and I love when an actor gets to have their doctor moment. And I thought at the end of the episode, Jodie Whittaker got one of her many that she's had so far, but this to me was really great.
I'm a Time Lord. I can regenerate my body. I stole this TARDIS and I ran away.
Yeah, I love that it's giving new viewers a bit of history, a bit of Doctor Who canon and lore. It was done because the TARDIS team said, you know, we want to get to know you a bit better. And also, it seems like, looks to me like have we got a new TARDIS set? It looks like maybe Series 1, it wasn't quite finished yet, because now it looks spectacular.
Now it has a dancing crystal in the background.
Our new Time Rotor looks...
That's why I was laughing, because I mean, her speech was wonderful, but there's this weird phallic thing just going up and down behind. I'm like, God, turn off the gyrating TARDIS for just a minute.
Yeah, I couldn't stop thinking, I know there's a crew member under there going, is this the right speed? Faster!
So what was your moment at home? We would like to know. Let us know by giving us a tweet at #WhoviansAU.
Oh, yeah, I'm absolutely excited to be back for Whovians for another year. Hey!
Eat my salad. Halloween.
You know that's not my name. How much was in that damn thing?
Looked like you were making a vegetarian sex tape.
Well, the reveal of the Master had everyone sitting on the edge of their plane seats. But new fans might have been wondering why he suddenly morphed into the type of guy who would troll you on Twitter while showing off his collection of tiny dolls. Fun fact, I too travel around in a matchbox hidden inside someone's jacket. For those of you needing more mastery of the Master, here's the lowdown on the Doctor's best frenemy in our new segment, Doctor Who Do You Think You Are?
He's the Doctor's best frenemy, a psychotic cosmic maniac with even less conscience than Scott Morrison on holiday. They call him the Master.
I like it when you use my name.
I bet you wouldn't feel that way if your name was Jaden. The Doctor and the Master were total BFFs back when they were moody time teenagers at Gallifrey High School.
She was my first friend. Always so brilliant. From the first day at the academy. So fast, so funny. She was my man crush.
He's destroyed planets, dressed as a slightly racist alien. And if you thought that Brexit was the worst decision the UK has made, remember the Master was
Prime Minister of Great Britain.
No matter how evil the Master's plan is, the Doctor will always find a way to kick his ass. Yet despite all of that, they still love each other, really.
He's not your friend. You keep trying to kill him.
He keeps trying to kill me. It's sort of our texting. We've been at it for ages.
Even more reason for you to swipe left for a change.
A cosmos without the Doctor scarcely bears thinking about.
We agree. A cosmos without the Doctor, or as we like to call it, the 1990s.
There was a lot going on across these 2 episodes, but for me, the big one, finally, the timeless child is back!
Whole existence of our species built on the lie of the timeless child.
The audience says, ooh. Tegan's distracted by the fact she's just gone, the Master's hot.
And then I said, do you want to go for it? And now I feel bad and dirty.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Now, if you are a fellow Whovian, you know I've been banging on about this for a while. But the timeless child, what on earth do we think this could be? We're getting a bit more information. Now, it's the lie that apparently all of Time Lord existence is built on. What do we think it could be?
I have a theory.
Here we go.
And it's a bit of a stretch, this one, so you got to go with me, all right? I think the timeless child is someone called Michelle.
That's all I need.
Now, the reason for that is at the very beginning of this first episode, Yaz's dad was trying to get his Alexa to work.
Yes.
And he kept on asking it to play the Beatles' Rubber Soul. And because I've got a weird brain, my brain went, Rubber Soul track 1, drive my car. And then the next scene in that episode was the car driving scene. And I went through and watched the episode with my album sitting next to me, and the song started syncing up. Things like You Won't See Me, Nowhere Man, Ooh, Was It the Master? Girl, I'm Looking Through You, In My Life, Run for Your Life, etc., etc. And it all synced up except for the very middle track, which is Michelle.
Wait, also on Rubber Soul is Norwegian Wood, am I right?
Yes.
They have an episode in Jodie Whittaker's first season which is definitely
true.
set in the woods in Norway, people.
Is there a track called Talking Frog?
Look, it might be on the B-side. It might not be on this one. You never know. McCartney took a lot of drugs.
So you're saying it's Michelle?
I'm saying it's Michelle.
What about Michelle Gomez played Missy?
I thought that, because there is a bit of a tie in there, but I feel like it needs to be
going all
something
in on this,
in
it's fine.
universe. And the fact that the audience haven't made any sound makes me feel like you're not with me on this.
Well, can I point out something that this almost made my moment for the show. Okay. Probably the quickest thing that happened in the whole story, 2 episodes worth, was this one brief flash of what I think is the timeless child. Have a look.
Oh.
So I think this might be it. I'm not sure what the relevance is, but there's part of me even thinking, is it the Master saying it's, what they told us wasn't true, the timeless child? Could it be that maybe the Doctor and the Master at some point had a child that is the child, and then that child had a child that was Susan, and that's how we got the Doctor's granddaughter?
Oh, I like
Boom!
that.
Drop the cards, walk away. I've solved the mystery.
I like Tegan's better.
Okay, fair enough. The Rubber Soul makes sense. It makes sense. I don't know what I was thinking.
If anything, I'm just really happy that we're going to maybe learn a little bit more about this Doctor, because, you know, I do enjoy her an awful lot, but I feel like I still don't know what's driving this new Doctor. So if the timeless child can give us just a little bit more information about her, I'll be very happy.
Well, the other big thing that we have driving our new Doctor now is, of course, she popped home to find that Gallifrey has been left in a condition that will ensure the Time Lords will not be getting their bond back. It looks like Gallifrey is destroyed.
We just got it back.
Yeah,
they took it away again. I think it's a budget issue, because I think being on another planet costs a lot of money, so we'll just burn it down. Then we don't have to go to Gallifrey for the rest of the season. Right. They can use all that money for, like, hiring people like Stephen Fry, for example.
Right. But something bad's always happening in Gallifrey, don't you think? Yeah. Like, wouldn't it be more shocking to go back and you look and you go, no, everything looks good here. Like, that would actually
That's when you'd be something's going wrong.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Everyone looks happy.
It's a little bit like Summer Bay in that regard. You'd never move there. Plagued by calamities.
And, of course, the Master has said he knows what it is, well, he did it, and anything more than that, he said, why would I tell you and make it more easy for you? This is a wonderfully, devilishly evil...
Well,
we have a villain again.
Well, it's bizarre. He turns up and he's happy to give all of his plans on how he's going to destroy the Doctor, and then he does Gallifrey and he goes, I'm going to keep it to myself.
What an evil Master, though. I like that he seems really... Because I've always found the Master just a little bit madcap. You know, he kills people, but in a fun way sometimes, you know? But this one, I just feel it's a scary performance, and it's going to be so sad when he kills Graham this season.
Don't say that!
You might be onto something, and I would collect that figure. Now, Bridie, I still know that when we discovered part of the Master's plan, there was something that you were very unhappy about.
You guys, it really took me out of the episode for a moment because, you know, when they're like, they run into the tin shed, they've got the wall, they've the projector, they're like, let's figure out this code once and for all, and then they figure out that it's coordinates and a map of the world and where all the aliens... Where is New Zealand on that map?
Oh.
Where is it?
Oh.
Where is it?
It's not there.
Also Tasmania, and you know what? This happens all the time to New Zealand on maps, so you can look it up. It's a phenomenon. New Zealand is left off the map often, but also maybe they're left off because Kiwis are too smart to be invaded by these... I don't know.
Maybe there's no technology there, so there's no point. I was born in New Zealand, I can say that.
Oh. Did you notice with the Aussie cops, they were not Aussies? Like, I looked at, like, their accents were off. I looked it up. They're from South Africa. And it's like, as if you couldn't find some out-of-work actors in the UK. Like, do you know what I mean?
The one thing that I think they got down pat with the two police officers, though, is that as we clearly established, this was a bad situation that the Doctor and O at that time was in. The world was depending on them. So what does Australia do? Oh, no, mate, we sent up 2 cops and they've got pretty cool hats, so, you know, you'll be right, mate. Like, I thought that actually it was very Australian.
Very. Even that dialogue, what are you protecting us from? Dunno. You should be right.
We could have been protected from our big monsters, the Kasavan. Let's unpack it. It's time for...
Monster of the Week.
Stay back!
What? Oh my God. What are they?
Oh my God, I've got to solve this in a true blue Aussie fashion.
That was good.
Well, when they've come in and they said, when they first showed themselves, they said, oh, your shape amuses us.
Oh, yeah.
It's just body shaming.
I think their objective, and they gave up so easily at the end, was confusing to me. I like the visual look of them and the mirroring and the fact that they got into the TARDIS and the Doctor was scared, because when the Doctor's scared, that's when I get scared. And I loved their interdimensional pube world thing. That's what I thought. I'm calling it pube world. That's just what it looks like to me.
Did you find them scary?
Did I find them scary? Nah, not really. Like, they got taken out by a pensioner with laser shooters. Do you know what I mean? By the way, did you see that behind-the-scenes segment before? So, you know, because he was dancing, they needed to get him in the mood for it.
Graham.
So, yeah, check this out.
I missed that first time round.
Yeah, no.
That's why always multiple watch, guys. Over the years, Doctor Who has used hard science theories to tell fantastical stories, but we've often wondered where the line between possible and impossible is drawn. I mean, can you really squeeze a giant spaceship inside something the size of a Portaloo? You know what? Don't answer that. I don't want to know what you've tried to squeeze inside a Portaloo. Anyway, time to find out more. So we sent the one person who is 2 parts fiction, 1 part fact, Hammer!
Whenever the Doctor is in trouble, she has a get-out-of-jail-free card and a sonic screwdriver. Could such a device exist in the real world? To help me answer this riveting question, I have with me Australian space analyst and author Dr. Maurice Jones. Thank you for joining me, Dr. Jones.
Good to be here.
We all know the sonic screwdriver is a multifunctional tool, but how plausible is this device?
It's more plausible than you might think, because it simply relies on physics that we already have, and that physics is ultrasound.
Hey, you know when I said multifunctional tool, did you start thinking about one of the contestants on Married at First Sight?
No.
The Doctor uses her sonic screwdriver for all sorts of situations over the years. What could it actually do?
I think you could do the ultrasonic effects, pick locks or move screws or move very small objects.
Yeah. Could you use sound waves to break into an ATM?
Probably not.
Look, to be honest, I'm asking that question for a friend. I can't tell you who, but it's for a very specific friend. You can definitely use sound waves for medical reasons, though, right?
Yes.
I know, I had to have them used to remove excess kidney stones floating around in my kidneys. Have you ever had kidney stones before?
I don't think so.
Oh, it is painful. It's not unlike watching 3 episodes of Q&A back to back to back while having a 4mm stone crowning in your 2mm urethra. Did you know that sonic screwdriver was my dancing name in the 90s?
We learn something new every day.
I know, I didn't make much money, but the friendships that I created have lasted forever.
Did you dance with a screwdriver?
I did dance with a screwdriver. It seems like a personal question, but it was some pretty sexy times in the 90s. I had a flatter stomach back then. Dr. Jones, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, after our massive cliffhanger ending to part 1, part 2 really picked up the pace with the Doctor, thankfully, not being in someone's liver again, as she bumped into everyone's favourite historical mathematician, sorry, Archimedes. It was Ada Lovelace.
Down, Doctor!
This is not designed for use by a young lady.
Nothing is, and yet I find myself more than capable.
In this episode, we have not one but 2 of the most amazing, interesting, figures from history. We've got Noor Inayat Khan and Ada Lovelace. Amazing, what a gift. But I think there was so much going on in this episode that we didn't really have time to explore them as characters properly. I would have loved an entire episode devoted to each of them. They're amazing women. They had so much incredible intelligence, and I just feel like we didn't get to explore their characteristics enough.
I saw Chris Chibnall talking behind the scenes about these 2 wonderful women and how important they are and how great their stories are. And he even mentions that we didn't really spend much time with them, and why not? Like, why not have them as a separate story and really get into it? I did like, though, with Ada, I found her stuff really interesting, and that made me go Google and find information about her, and I love it when Doctor Who does that.
Yeah. The other guest star was legendary comedian Lenny Henry. He was playing the villain, of course, Barjo. On the scale of 0 to Zuckerberg, how evil was our villain?
Well, I found him quite relevant, Zuckerberg relevant, but also, really, he was scary except for his aim. He managed to really shoot motorcycles, but not the people on them.
Does anything say villain more than a guy who's like, I'm gonna kill my mum?
On the last day.
On the what?
So that you could be the first.
Say hi to your hard drive for me.
Future-proof myself, perhaps I should take it on. There was a little bit of something towards the end when Graham and Yaz and Ryan are in there realising they're with Martin's dead mum, that they just sit there hanging out with her in the room for what felt a little bit too long for me.
Yeah, no, like, let's take care of the body. What a terrible tragedy this is. They're like, whoa, dead woman. It's strange.
I'll say this for the Barton character. When he was giving his TED talk to say, this is my plan for all of you, the scariest thing he said was, you kept clicking agree and now we know everything. And I was like, oh my God, drop the phone, throw the iPad out the window. He's onto us.
No, I was going to say, it was a really good scene. It was a very poignant moment. But I feel like they only got a certain amount of cutaways of the crowd, because no matter what he said, whenever they cut back to the crowd, they were like...
You know why? They weren't paying attention because they'd been on their phones. So...
Help me with something, because I can't get me nut round it.
I love Graham so much. One of the
Graham.
great joys of being a Doctor Who fan is that there's so much history to delve into, but we also know that your lives are super busy, so we're going to keep you in the loop with This Week in Whostory.
This week in Whostory. January 9, 1981 sees Peter Davison film his first scene as the 5th Doctor. Hardcore fans declare he's not my Doctor and swear they'll stop watching.
What a finely tuned response to the situation.
On the 10th of January 1996, Paul McGann is announced as the 8th Doctor, and hardcore fans lament the show's not as good as it was back in 1981.
I am the Doctor!
Ha ha! Sure you are, Paul. The 5th of January 2020 sees Jodie Whittaker finish off the two-parter that opens the latest series, and hardcore fans beg for Paul McGann to come back.
I've had an upgrade. Hi.
January 7th, 2030, hardcore fans reminisce about how brilliant Jodie Whittaker was as Doctor Who while they attempt to survive the Fury Road. And that was This Week in History.
Now, before we start to wrap things up, I'd like to make a special mention of Ian Cullen. He was a cast member of the first Doctor story, The Aztecs, in 1964. Sadly, he passed away at the end of last year. That's him playing Ixchel. We had the pleasure of bumping into him by accident on our very first shoot for our very first episode of Whovians. We were shooting a piece and someone asked what we were doing, and I said, oh, we're shooting a little sketch for a Doctor Who show. And they said, oh, this guy was in Doctor Who. And we sat and spoke with him. He did an impromptu interview for us, which was so wonderful. And so as much as obviously we're very sad for his friends and family at his passing, we're very pleased that we got to share that time with him and for him to be part of this wonderful Doctor Who story that we got to share with our fans of the show as well. Now, with the euphoria of an actor pretending to ride a motorbike through a vineyard, we're about to cross the finish line as we find out who everyone thinks stole this week's story in... Whose show indeed? Tegan, let's start with you.
Master.
The Master.
It was definitely the Master for me. I thought the performance was incredible. I liked his scary, scary weapon, which I'm now calling the Master Blaster. And I was just really riveted, and I think that chemistry, whether it's this or just this, I don't mind, but it was interesting for me.
OK.
Yeah, I totally agree. The Master for me, especially going back and rewatching the first episode, you really see the nuance in his performance.
So good.
I didn't guess it, you know? He was just a truly terrifying Master. It's got me so excited for this season to have this villain play in the episodes.
I disagree. I don't think it was the Master. I think it was the Master. Yeah, absolutely loved that performance. I'm so intrigued to see what happens next. I loved it.
For me, it was our TARDIS fam. Firstly, I like the fact that we reset who our characters were, what they're going through. But the fact that when they were separated from the Doctor, I believe it was Graham's line, if the Doc doesn't come back, we keep going. And not only did they do that, but then at the end of the episode to say that they want to become closer to the Doctor and find out more about her, it's their show for me. Hamo, whose show for you?
Well, it had to be Graham and his laser shoes. Did you know he's Russian? Check this out. This is why I'm not allowed in the edit suite. Yeah. No, to be honest, for me, it was the old lady. The old lady.
The mum.
Yeah, did you not see her?
I don't think I did.
Like, can we have a look at the old lady, please? Yeah, her. Oh, she was amazing. Like, you have to look at her. She's old, right? She's gone around. Suddenly she sees up on a board 3 people she's never seen before. Then suddenly she looks and she recognises those 3 people even though they're in completely different outfits, and she has the strength to pick up an iPad and take a photo. That is the timeless child.
And look, I don't want to be that guy, but you assume she's picked it up, but it's in selfie mode. If there's one thing I've taken away from this episode, I was rapt to see the Master return with this incredible shrinking device. If I had that myself, I know which panellist I'd turn into my very own action figure. Whoa. Wow.
Whoa.
That is anatomically accurate.
Oh. I am ripped.
Oh.
When I'm small.
Oh. Just enough time left to thank tonight's guests, Bridie Connell and Justin Hamilton. And Tegan Higginbotham and Barjo. Depending on your timeline, we'll see you next week or last week on Whovians. Until then, I'm Rovik Manor. Say hi to your mum for me. Good night.